1990s, a very popular Japanese game
Most
show
evil
tortured a
live
man
stream
for a
ever.
year and broadcast it every Sunday night. This isn't like reality TV where it's all fake and scripted, not to ruin Christmas for all the believers out there. This was legitimately torturing another human being for the sake of entertainment. And
Bro, how does that happen? Like, the person doesn't get caught. He let this happen for a year?
it was extremely popular, averaging 17 million viewers every
What
Sunday
the
night that they
heck?
played the clips. That's absolutely massive, even by today's standards. It's more viewers than the last 4 years
That's
of the NBA
insane.
Finals and the World Series. And
How
obviously,
that
more
many
than most
people are
television
watching that and
shows
no one
get.
says
For
anything?
reference, The Boys season premiere got around 8 million viewers, and according to YouTuber Atrocity Guide, who
We might
also
have to do
covers
two
this
parts for this
story,
video because
the
it's so
most
long.
viewed episode of Game of Thrones got around 16 million viewers, so it even beats that. Just an absolutely massive success, but it doesn't stop there. The producers knew there was still a little milk left in those teats and they wanted to suckle. So they actually turned it from just a weekly broadcast into a full-blown live stream where you could log on online and watch him suffer in real time. So whenever you were just feeling
This is
particularly
weird.
quirky, you could hop in there and watch a man be miserably tortured for the better part of a year. Doesn't that sound like fun? What a great way of starting the day. A nice bowl of cereal and milk for breakfast and watching a man's sanity slowly deteriorate as he dances around naked in absolute agony. Wonderful. This is
What
the
the
story
heck?
of Nasubi. As I briefly mentioned, another YouTube channel named Atrocity Guide made a great video on this topic, but I wanted to go even deeper. So we, Caleb, Chelsea, and I really did a fucking thorough deep dive, spreading the foul cheeks of this situation wide open, going through live streams, all of the broadcast clips, in order to really get a handle on just how vile this whole thing was. So let's begin. In 1998, a popular Japanese game show named Susanoo Dimpa Shonen held a raffle to find their next contestant for an upcoming show they were working on called A Life of Prizes.
Dang.
Nasubi ended up winning the lottery and was ecstatic. He believed this was going to be a big break
Y'all,
for
this already reminds me of like Squid Games, just off rip. This is giving like Squid Game vibes.
him since he was also an
Nah,
up-and-coming
that's
comedian, and he
crazy.
was
Bro was so
escorted
excited.
to a small apartment where he was then instructed to take off all of his clothes in order to participate in the game. The challenge was
Nah,
he would have to
Squid Game
survive in this
vibes.
apartment on nothing but his winnings from sweepstakes. They only provided him with water, and he was told that he would not be allowed to leave or communicate with the outside world or have any access to anything that he didn't directly earn through magazine sweepstakes. He was told that he'd need to win 1 million yen, which at the time, 1998, was right around 8,000 US dollars, through only mail-in magazine sweepstakes
Twitch
in order
Ikakashi.
to complete
Good, fam.
the challenge and be released
I hope I
from
said
the
that
room.
right.
And yes, this does
I
include
know you
food.
changed your
They
name
didn't provide him
again,
with
fam.
any
Y'all be
food.
changing
The
your
only
names
food
on
he'd have
me.
access to is the food
I
that
do
he
remember
earns
who's who
through
sometimes though.
mail-in sweepstakes. It just feels
Even
like
when
there
you
were
switch
better
up your
odds
name.
of a bird carrying
AKA No Zen.
$10,000 in its mouth
Fucking name,
crashing
fam.
through the apartment window than actually earning 10 grand through mail-in sweepstakes. This shit is like something you would actually hear of like fucked up prison guards at Guantanamo Bay doing as like a joke or something. It's so cruel and brutally difficult. But Nasubi did actually pull it off. It took Nasubi
Brother D
335
first.
days total to finally make enough money to be released from it. Or at least
Drink up. I
so
need a
you
drink.
think. This is actually only the tip of the iceberg here, but I just want to
Water
give you
on
the
deck.
story in a
Cheers.
nutshell. And I also want to explain the name Nasubi, because that's not actually the contestant's real name. His actual name is Tomoaki Hamatsu. The name Nasubi actually means
Yo, they really
eggplant.
did have him
And he
in
got
there
this
a
because the
long
producers
time.
used
Look,
an
bro
eggplant
has
to
an
censor his
afro
genitals for the broadcast.
and
They
a
also
full
said that his
blown
head
blown
resembled the
beard
shape
now.
of
Like
an
when he went in
eggplant.
there, he was
The whole
shaving
point
up,
of
bro.
the
Really was
Susanoo
in there a
Dimpa
long
Shonen
time.
broadcast here was to laugh
Yeah,
at
EJ's the big boy
Nasubi.
now.
And people were. 17
Big
million
baby.
people having an old hoot and a holler, real
You
side-splitting
got the
comedy,
notification while he's
watching a
at the
man
gym.
be
Yes,
legitimately
sir. Put it
tortured.
in work. Yes, sir.
Nasubi believed
I need
that
to
he
go
was
to the gym
being
too.
recorded and that the clips were going
Me
to
and
be
my fam.
re-edited and broadcast for TV. So he would come in and like
Honestly, y'all, it's kind of hard to go to the gym because we got the baby now. Do you think we should take the baby to the gym with us and just like put him in the stroller, park him next to us, and then we could work out? Let me know what y'all think.
update people on what he's doing. Like I just won this can of cat food. I just won this bicycle, and then he'd like dance around and try and make it entertaining, but he never knew that he was being live streamed the whole time. He was under the impression that it was just going to be moments from the challenge. Not that every excruciating second of this challenge was being broadcast to all of Japan. Extremely fucked situation, and this is just the bare outline of it. What I want to do for this video is actually go through a lot of clips and moments from this live stream and the broadcast, as well as just everything surrounding it, because it is so baffling. It is bizarre that this actually happened.
Appreciate you,
I remember
for the
Vsauce did a video on what happens to the mind when you're cut off from stimulation in the outside world for an extended period of time. And unsurprisingly, it is so psychologically damaging to be completely
we should
alone
watch that
and
one
isolated,
too.
like
Isolation.
Nasubi was. And Vsauce only did like a few days. Nasubi did over a year, 15 months
It's crazy.
total.
15 months.
なんと
脱いで書いていると
はい
誰かが来た、
はいあ
宅急便、
第1号
気分フードケミファさんのファイバーゼリー12個入りでございます。
Fiber jelly.
いただきます
This was Nasubi's
Was that the only
first
way he
big
would
win,
eat?
a fat dubski. He was able to secure 12 pots of fiber jelly. I don't know what the fuck fiber jelly is. I've never heard of it in my life. That sounds like a made-up.
What is fiber jelly? What? It's a jealous and dessert. Alright.
Up substance in the movie Snowpiercer.
We're doing reactions. You ready to eat?
I just want to see EJ
Baby EJ, no baby. Let me know when you're ready to eat. Were you ready now? Okay.
But
You're streaming
it
or
was
just
huge for
recording
Nasubi because
I'm
it's his
streaming.
first bit of food since this started, so he was extremely hungry
Honestly,
and was
easier
able to
to
get some
just
nutrients. This wasn't the first thing he
report
applied
live.
for, though. The first sweepstakes he
them
was
later.
entering were for clothing items. He wanted to cover up, obviously, because being naked is going to be cold, uncomfortable, especially since it's being filmed. So he had applied for an apron first, but he didn't win.
やっ
I hope they
た
at least
また
gave
何
him
か当たったんだ。
はい
That's insane.
あはいわかりました
Babe, so they tortured this man, right? He's like in China or I think he's in Japan. So they tortured this man. They said he's gonna win stuff from a game. It's basically real life Squid Games. That's basically the video I'm watching. He's getting prizes, but they like left him in this apartment for like a year.
A
And
year?
they took away his clothes.
A year?
And people like they live streamed the whole thing. They said he was in there for 15 months. It's crazy.
That is not okay. Those are major psychological tests. What do you get?
It's like real life Squid Games. I'm still watching. It's like 40 minutes. We're gonna have to do parts of this.
This is horrible.
I'm like they said like 17 million people watched it. And I'm like
This
no
is
one
horrible.
said anything. It's crazy.
はい
当選か
まずラーメン
Oh, so they did give him some.
全部で1700円
Wait, no, they charged him. So they gave him some ramen. Then they go say 1,700 yen.
すいません間違えました
Obviously, since
Wow.
Nasubi was trapped in isolation, cut off from the rest of the world, he cherished every single knock at that door. It was the only bit of human interaction he gets. So he'd get
Dang.
excited, and of course, he's expecting to win something, since why else would someone be knocking at the door? So he gets really hyped up, like, hey, finally something came that's going to help
The
me get
video's
closer to
crazy,
completing
yeah.
this challenge, or maybe it's food and
I've
I'm
never
starving.
even heard of this.
But that wasn't always the case. Like in these two clips here, sometimes it was just fucking cruel, where a postman knocked on his door just to let him know that he needs to put his name on the mailbox or some shit, and then also someone put the wrong address for a ramen delivery, so he couldn't even have the ramen after smelling it. Like, it was just really sad to see.
米か
でんでねー
米だ
My thing is, I was hoping he could like find something to cover himself.
Finally,
they
it seems
didn't leave
fortune's
nothing
looking
in.
up for Nasubi here. He's able to secure 5 kilograms of rice. But then things get heartbreaking when he realizes he has no way of cooking the rice, because he'd need to win a pot from a sweepstakes in order to use it. So he
That
just
is
has 5
sick.
kilograms of rice that he can't cook. It's fucking terrible. You know, like, it's a treasure that you can't have. So he gets desperate and he starts resorting to eating
That
the
is
rice
a lot
raw.
of mind games.
生米をかじる
It
お願い
is.
しま
So
す。
they gave
お
him
かゆ
rice, but
に
they
でも
didn't
ちゃ
give
んと
him
な
a
ってく
pot.
だ
They
さ
said
い。
he has to win the pot.
申し訳
So
ない
he
です
has
けど
all this
ね。
rice, but he can't cook it.
ちょっと
Obviously,
これ
he
は
can't
失
eat it.
敗じゃないですか。ちょっと待って。ちょっと待ってよこれ。
Okay, he tried
実験成功
to figure out sort of a way to cook it.
Unable to continue eating the rice raw, Nasubi knew he needed to
Dude
find
won the
some way to
contest
cook it,
thinking
so he went
gonna have
full
this
fucking
great
Jimmy
opportunity
Neutron
to
here.
see what happens.
He hatched an
Sucks.
idea to put the rice into one of
What
the
did he get
jelly
for it?
fiber containers, and he put
I
hot
guess
water
torture.
in it, left it out
This is
overnight,
what he
hoping
gets
to
for
make
He
it
doesn't get money or
somewhat
anything?
cooked. As you can see in
For
the clip, he said
after
even if it's
doing this
gruel,
for a
just make
year,
it
I
into
don't know.
something. It didn't work at all. So he
I
came up
do
with
blind
another
reactions.
plan
I have no
to
clue what's
put it
going
in a
on.
fiber jelly container, put it in the hot water, and set it next to the
Baby tried to
gas
snatch my
burner.
chain.
So that way it would kind of cook it by proxy. And this worked. It was able to cook the rice, and now he had an efficient way of actually eating that rice that he won.
自転車に乗ってご飯が食える。やばいな僕は。ね。
Slowly but surely,
I wonder
Nasubi
what's
was
that stuff
chipping
like on
away
the
at that
shelf. Like, are those
million
books?
goal, winning more and more prizes,
They're
such
probably
as a
like
bicycle.
books and
Which,
magazines. I
on
was
the
thinking
surface,
maybe
seems
it's food,
pretty
but
useless since he couldn't take it outside,
Yeah,
but
put
he
nothing
turned
in
it
there
into a
for them.
stationary bike, and I'm sure that was like a good way of stimulating him, because what the fuck else are you gonna do? So he'd eat his watery rice while pedaling on the bicycle, and he started gathering more and more winnings. It started to look like my fucking dorm room from college, just a bicycle and all kinds of miscellaneous shit all over the place.
来ましたね見事に。いやいややってみるもんですね。
I wonder if he was allowed to leave though, like at any point, or he was just like riding this out. But dang.
ほら。
お米の炊き方98年3月版ニューバージョンです。
やっちゃってるよこれ。もう。トレビアン。
He also upgraded his whole cooking operation by using a pin and a can of sake. He was able to create a pretty efficient cooking apparatus, so he was able to make rice more efficiently. He was even able to cook spaghetti now. So he was really like climbing up the tech tree here by just being an absolute fucking genius. And it's also worth noting, some of the more useless things he won, like the bicycle, wasn't entirely worthless because that helped increase the value of his winnings, bringing him closer to that million yen mark. So even if he couldn't get a ton of usage out of it directly, just having it in the room was beneficial because it gets him closer to being done with the challenge.
瞬間が訪れようとしている
Okay. So we kind of got to remember that the challenge was to get that 8,000, basically $8,000.
こんな
right?
小さすぎた
I forgot how much it was in the end.
Now it's been about 2 months in this clip here, and according to Atrocity Guide, Nasubi
But
submitted...
y'all, we will watch the rest of this video later on.
Wake up, gotta thank God cause he be blessing me. Gotta praise him cause he gave me life and I got destiny. Think about it, I just wanna cry cause he protected me. Listen to me, wanna change your life, he got